The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Ketchikan, Alaska, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 34880. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting down at the front bumper, you'll find 2 tow hooks attached to the frame rail on the passenger and driver's side. Moving upward, you'll find your headlight structure housing a low and high beam headlight and turn indicator marker. Also located just adjacent the Ford emblem, you'll find emergency warning lights forward facing. Let's take a look at some close-ups of the items we just talked about. First, this is the emergency warning lights. As we look into the lower section, you'll find your siren PA speaker system. And then as we move downward, you'll find the attachment points for your front tow hooks. Some additional close-ups here as we look around to the side. The turn indicator marker light, you'll also find a side-facing emergency warning light located on the forward section of the front fender. Let's take a look at the wheel assembly. First, you'll find steel wheels and also Continental tires. In the center, you'll find a selector for engaging your front wheel lock. You'll also find a midsection emergency warning light, unit identifier 788. As we move to the step area, you'll find perimeter lighting in the lower section and step lights in the upper portion. As we move to the mirror area, you'll find a flat mirror and convex mirror. Let's go ahead and go inside the vehicle now, starting with the driver's door. First, starting with some warning information. Placards located here in the upper and lower section. As we move to the door, window, and mirror control, you'll find those located on the upper section of the door panel. Let's move to the seat area now, where you'll find individual bucket seats, adjustments at the lower section of the seat and front portion of the seat. We do have some additional warning information placards located in the lower section of the door jamb. Once again, back to the seat control. As we move to the forward dash area, you'll find this headlight information, and also in the lower section your filter miner for your air filter. Just beneath that, you'll find your parking brake release. What I'd like to draw your attention to is the yellow placard from Pierce Manufacturing. This is the indication from Pierce about your vehicle. It's going to have the date of manufacture, February of 2021, the 5-digit job number, also cold tire inflation, gross vehicle weight rating, all of your fluid and capacity information for your vehicle. Let's move to the dash area. First, we'll start with the steering wheel. Your vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system, an airbag, and also steering wheel controls. Tachometer and speedometer located in the front section of the dash. Just above that location, you'll find oil pressure, water temperature, fuel, and turbo pressure. In the center, you'll find diagnostic engine information. Let's go ahead and move just to the right of this location. We have a standard 550 Ford dash. Encompassing in that, you'll find the 2-wheel high located in the lower left, 4 high and 4 low selector switch for 4-wheel drive. Also, you'll find climate control in the lower section. Let's move further down now onto the dash area in the center console. First, at the very top, you'll find all of your tally lights located red and green. You'll also find your traffic advisor and PA speaker and siren control module. Let's move down to the base area, where you'll find the master battery switch located right next to the driver's seat. You'll also find on the console all of our emergency light switches, high idle, opticom, left and right scene lights, and rear scene lights. Also, just to the right, you'll find your pump shift. There are instructions from road to pump and from pump to road. Additional map book holders as we move overhead, standard 550 Ford switching, and also map lights. Let's move back to the door panel in the rear section. Once again, affixed to the door panel, safety and warning information placards. As we move across the rear cab wall, you'll find forward-facing seats for 3 occupants. And now let's go exterior and take a look at the body area. Let's first step down at the lower section. This is closest to the cab area where you'll find your auto eject plug. This is a 20 amp auto eject. When the ignition is engaged, it will eject the plug. Also, when plugged into shore power, the auto charge indicator and system will begin charging your batteries. As we move to a general view here of the side roll-up compartment doors, let's go ahead and take a look in the upper corner where you have a side-facing scene light. This is on your rear body. Let's go ahead and go inside the compartment, starting first with the compartment closest to the cab, where you'll find 2 modules. First, level A foam, which is red, and then also a water tank level indicator. Just down from that, you'll find 2 placards. This is your Husky foam system specification, also instructions. At the very bottom, you'll find your minimum test pressures for 150, 200, and 250 psi, minimum operation maintenance schedule. Moving further down on the pump panel, you'll find this warning labeled that only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment only after receiving proper training. Also, the type of pump you have, which is a Watrous. You'll also find the number 3 driver's side discharge. This is a 2.5-inch ball valve discharge. As we move further to the left, you'll find the number 1 driver's side discharge, 2.5-inch. Also the foam draft tank lever, and then also the driver's side auxiliary inlet, which is a ball valve, 2.5-inch female. Some warning placards here regarding the mixing of different types of foam and foam consistencies, possibility of foam failure. It's indicating that you not do that. We do have a pan door located here for getting access behind the pump panel. The Pierce American Flag Eagle is your large diameter pump inlet. As we move to the pan door, this is going to be your foam operation lever for fill and operational positions. As we move down to the right, you'll find your main pump drain, also the tank to pump, electric prime, a caution information that at least 1,000 RPMs for minimum best practices, and that you not operate this for more than 1 minute due to damage. Also, you'll find your tank fill and recirculating line. Let's move just to the right in the image and we'll talk about the crosslays that are located here. This is the number 2 speed lay. The release mechanism for that speed lay is located on the right. Same thing, number 1 crosslay, release mechanism located on the right. As we move to the main discharges, you'll see they're color-coded and labeled. Moving up from this location, we'll start at the very top section, first starting with the engine cooler. This is a twist, not a pull. As we move just to the left, you'll find the audible alarm. The outer edge of that bezel does allow you to dampen or brighten the sound. Just up from that location, you'll find the vacuum and pressure test gauge ports. They're currently plugged, and these are for testing purposes. These are your 2 main gauges. You have your pump intake on the left, and on the right, you'll find your pump discharge. You'll also find a tally light located at the very top. OK to pump. It's a green indicator indicating your pump is properly engaged. Let's move just to the left to the next module over, where you'll find your pressure throttle governor, and then just to the left from that you'll find the Husky foam system module. It's the red module in the center. As you move to the upper left, you'll find spare switches. These are for future switch locations. Let's go ahead and move through the rest of the body configuration. First, down at the lower portion, you'll find a pan door for gaining access into this location. SCBA bottle storage for 4, and there are retaining straps for each of those. As we move up over the rear axle, you'll find 4 SCBA storage locations. Also, you'll find your auto charge. When plugged into shore power, this unit will become active, maintaining your batteries. It is plugged into the Shoreline outlet plug located on the left-hand side near the roll-up portion of the door. As we move to the rear, you'll find dual 225/70R 19.5s, steel wheels located here. Also, you'll find the fill location for your green cap, which is going to be your diesel fuel, ultra low sulfur diesel. As we move to the very rear, adjustable shelves, LED lighting, and ventilation. As we move around now to the rear of the apparatus, let's identify a few items within this area. Let's start with the rear once again. First, start downing at the very bottom, passenger and driver's side. You'll find emergency light, brake light, turn indicator, and also a reverse light. Just up from this location, we have a few cup switches. This is your hose bed lights. Further up on the same panel, we're going to find a few warning placards. This is going to be a warning regarding fall hazard. Always face the vehicle while climbing on it. Also, never ride on the vehicle while it is in motion. And then also an entanglement hazard warning. Because of those lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement, so be cautious and aware of that. At the very top, you'll find an emergency warning light. Let's move back down to the very bottom section. Just under the tailboard, you'll find two attachment points. These are closed, attached to the frame rail. Moving up into the very center, you'll find a rear roll-up door and also two fold-down steps located on the left side of the vertical side sheet. Pull-out tray in the lower section. The release mechanism is located on the lower right. It will lock into position. As we move over the door area, you'll find your traffic advisor. And then just up to the very top, you'll find a hose bed divider. In the hose bed area, you'll find your top fill location for tank A, which is your foam tank. It does have a warning regarding not mixing different brands or consistencies of foam. Also, you'll find your water tank top fill location and also a 2.5-inch rear discharge. Let's move down to the dunnage area where you'll find your master stream device located in the very front section nearest to the cab. And then you'll also find your Husky 3 foam system hydraulic reservoir. There is a fill location located on the lower section of that reservoir. Let's move through the rear section of the vehicle, top section, where you'll find an extension ladder. You'll also find a long-handled tool storage. As we move down the right-hand side of the vehicle in the rear, you'll also find a rear-facing emergency warning light. And then as we move down to the very bottom section, you'll find your tail light housing a emergency light, brake light, turn indicator, and reverse light. Let's go ahead and move now to the passenger side of the vehicle. Same configuration and layout as far as compartments go. As we move through these compartments, we'll move relatively fast because it is similar to the driver's side. As we look through the compartments, adjustable shelving in those compartments. Also at the very bottom section, you'll find a pull-out tray and then also shoreline outlet located on the vertical wall. This is going to be a 20 amp shoreline outlet. Once again, the release mechanism located on that lower tray is on the right side. It will lock into position, requiring you to push to restore. As we move to the axle area, you'll find emergency warning light just above the rear axle. As we move to the wheel itself, you'll find Continental Tires steel wheel. This is a 225 70R 19.5 rear tire. As we move directly over the axle, you'll find a tool board. D-handle gains you access to the rear side. The tool board will lock into position. To restore that, just simply go to the hinged side where you'll find the release mechanism located on the hinge. As we move just in front of the axle, you'll find your exhaust. Also SCBA bottle storage location and oxygen bottle storage. Let's move downward just underneath where you'll find this warning label regarding extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures, especially during regen. Please be cautious where you park your vehicle. Let's move down to the midsection for your pump panel area on the passenger side. We'll identify a few items within this area. Starting down at the very bottom section, you'll find all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. As we move up from this location, you'll find your garden hose connection and drain. You'll also find your speed lays located. These are pass-through speed lays, so it's going to be accessible from either the passenger or driver's side. As we move to the vertical wall, you'll also find some additional warning information regarding entanglement hazard and also pressure hazard warning. As we move back to the pump panel, you'll find your minimum operation maintenance schedule. Behind this panel door is where you'll find your relief valve set screw located on the end of the relief valve. As we move to the main section of the panel, you'll find your main inlet. It's the Pierce logo American flag eagle. You'll also find a warning label here regarding pressure hazard because of the two 2.5-inch discharges located on this side. You'll also find the fill location for your DEF tank. It is the blue cap. Now as we move to the top of the body section, you'll find that side-facing floodlight located in the front section of the body. Let's move now through the cab. Same configuration, obviously, as the driver's side. We'll move through this relatively fast too also. As we move to the bottom section, you'll find once again perimeter lighting in the lower section, and then also step lighting in the upper portion. As we move to the door itself in the rear section of the cab, you'll find all of our safety and warning information placard. Those are going to be affixed to the door panel in this case, and they're in the upper portion near the window control module. As we move to the front door, you'll find additional safety and warning information at the lower panel. Let's go ahead and move inside the cab area to the dash area. You'll also find your VMUX diagnostic port. It's the port located on the front side of the console. Adjustable seat front to back located in between the legs, and then also to the right side you'll also find adjustments front to back. Let's move back out to the exterior passenger side is where you'll find the mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. As we move just forward of this location, you'll find your unit identifier 788 and also a side-facing emergency warning light. Back up to the front axle, once again you'll have steel wheels and also your lock mechanism located in the center axle and Continental tires. Emergency warning light located on the front fender. As we move around to the headlight structure, you'll find your headlight housing low and high beam headlights and also a turn indicator. Moving from this location to the very top, you'll find your Opticom and emergency warning light. General view here of the side of the vehicle. Congratulations, Ketchikan Fire Department, Alaska, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 34880. If you have any questions regarding this vehicle, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.